So let's make a star ornament. I am using a double knit, it's quite a thin double knit to be fair, yellow acrylic yarn, but you can use, to be fair, you can use any size or any weight of yarn that you want, because as it's an ornament, you can have them in varying sizes. I am using a 4.5mm hook. I have a feeling that really I might be better off with a slightly smaller one, but I would quite like to see if I can have a slightly more open feel to this. So I'm going to see how I go with it. Now, in the pattern, it asks for a chain 5 and to join, but I'm going to do a magic circle. But if you wish to do a chain 5 and then join the chain 5 together to make a circle, no, I'm not doing a magic circle there, am I? Then feel free to do so. Okay, so there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a bobble stitch. So the all the stitches around, more or less, there's 3 rounds altogether, a bobble stitch. So for this, a bobble stitch is a yarn over. I'm going to put the hook through the circle and pull it through. And then we're going to do that 3 more times, so we should have 9 on the hook. So that was 1, so 3 more times. So that's the 2nd, 3rd and 4th, which should now give us 9 on the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then yarn over, and I'm going to pull through all of those. A tip is when you are doing this to try and make sure you keep some height to your yarn as you're pulling it through. Okay, so that's a bobble, and that's part of it made. The next then is to chain 1. So that is the whole bobble stitch made. Now we're going to do that 4 more times, so we're going to have 5 bobble stitches in total, with a chain 1 in at the top of every one of them. So that's the first one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, which will give me 9 on the hook. Pull through, chain 1, and again 1, 2, 3, 4, pull through, chain 1, so that's 3, more yarn. I'll just start that one again. I think I was on 2, but so 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 1, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, last one, 1, 2, 3, 4, pull through, chain 1. I'm going to pull that tight now. Okay, and then I'm going to slip stitch to the top of the first bobble stitch, so not the chain 1 but the actual bobble stitch. So I'm going to go and look at it. That is that one there. Hopefully you can see that. So not the section in between. So that's our first round. So what we're going to do now is we're going to slip stitch into the chain 1. So we've connected to the top of the bobble stitch, but we are slip stitching into the chain 1. We're going to start our stitches from here. So we're chaining 1 just to give us a bit of height, and we're going to do a bobble stitch, a chain 1, a bobble stitch, and a chain 1 in each space. So effectively we're doing 2 bobble stitches in each of the spaces, followed by the chain 1, just as we did on the last lot. So we'll end up with 5 groups of bobble stitches. So again, just make a bobble stitch as we did before. and pull through, chain 1 and another one, and pull through and chain 1, and then we're going to move on to the next chain 1 space, which is there. I'm going to repeat that. Chain 1, and chain 1, so that's 2 clusters done. Some more yarn. I actually think this is working out quite nicely with this hook size. We'll see what on the last one, because I think because it's a bobble stitch, it's quite a tight stitch anyway. So 2 bobbles into the next one. Chain 1. And chain 1. Moving on to the next one. And then we're coming to the last one. Last chain 1, and again we are going to slip stitch into the top of the first bobble. So that's our second round. Okay, so we're now going to slip stitch across to the chain 1 space. Yeah, so I'm going to go into here and chain 1. Again, this doesn't count as a stitch, we're just using that. And now we're going to, in this space, work 3 double crochets, 1 treble, a chain 3, a treble, and 3 double crochets into that same space. So this is going to be one of the points of our star. Okay, so you'll start to see it take shape now. So first of all, 3 doubles, so yarn over, pull through, yarn over 2, yarn over 2, and we're going to do that 3 times. So yarn over, through, pull the yarn through 2 and through 2. So that's our first 3 double crochets made. Now a treble, we're going to wrap the yarn around our hook twice, go through, and now it's very similar to the double. We're going to yarn over and pull through 2 each time. So yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do another treble. So wrap the yarn around twice, same hole again, pull it through, and then we're going to go through 2, through 2, and through 2. And then we're going to do 3 double crochets, again all in that same space. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now what we're going to do in the next chain space, so this one here, we're going to put just a single crochet. Okay, so now can you see that's one of our points of our star, which means now in the next chain space we are going to repeat that same pattern. So if you recall, it was 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, a treble, so right around twice. 1, 2, 3, 3 chains, another treble, and 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3 double crochets. Okay, and then again a single crochet into the next chain space. So we're going to do this all the way around. Okay, so I've just put a single crochet here. So in this next one, 3 double crochets, 1 treble, chain 3, 1 treble, 3 double crochets, then moving on to the next chain space for 1 single crochet. So I will carry on and I will meet you at the end. Okay, so I'm towards the end now, so I'm going to put my final single crochet there, and then I'm going to slip stitch into that first double crochet, so not the chain one, but the first double crochet. Now for the pattern, that's it finished. Okay, if you want to use this as a garland, you can cut this off and then add your garland afterwards, so you know, your actual band. If you want to use it as a hanging ornament, I would suggest that you slip stitch up into a point and then put your hanging decoration there. I would be tempted on this to go around and finish this off with single crochets in the edges. So I think that's what I'm going to do, just to show you how I would finish this off. Because whilst I think it looks very pretty, and it's nice to have something different to a standard star. So it's nice to have this texture with the bobbles. But I think I would probably just want a slightly different, doesn't look quite clean enough to me on the edge. So I'm going to just go around. So what I'm going to do is in every stitch, I'm just going to put a single crochet. I suppose you could slip stitch, that might also tidy it up a little bit. So you could slip stitch. Now I've got 3 here, so I'm going to put 1, 2, a chain, and 1, 2, and then again I'm going to go into each space as I go down. Okay, I'm at the single crochet, so I am actually just going to slip stitch into the single crochet because I don't want to give that any extra height. So hopefully you can see that that looks a slightly neater finish to this one, for example. So I've slip stitched into the single crochet, and then I'm going to continue single crocheting up. So there'll be 4 single crochets on each side, and then 2 in the space, a chain, and then 2 more in the space. Then as you come down the side, this is your first one, so it feels a bit like you're going in the chain, but you're not, you're going in the first one. So there's 4 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and again I'm going to slip stitch into a single crochet and then 4 up. So I will carry on and I will see you at the end. Okay, so I am going to stop here because what I want to do is show you, if I was going to make this a hanging decoration, that this is where I would now do this if I'm finishing it off in this way. So I'm going to put my 2 single crochets in, and then I would have done a chain and then carried on with 2 single crochets. If I'm going to do this as a hanging decoration, I would chain probably at least 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I always think about this point that looks about enough, but if you were to bring that down, that's definitely not going to be enough to go and hang on a tree. So really be mindful of that when you are doing that. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So again, if I bring that down, that looks a slightly better amount. So that's what I'm going to do. But, you know, if you have a real tree, for example, or if you know that your hanging space is going to require a thicker loop, then just chain more, okay? And to be fair, on a tree, you want some that hang lower down on the branches as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back down now and I'm going to put my other 2 single crochets on the other side of that chain 3 from before, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochets, and then as you recall a slip stitch there, and then I'm going to slip stitch to that first single crochet there, and then I would cut that off, weave all the ends in, and that would be my hanging star. Okay, now if you weren't going to do that as a hanging star and you wanted it as a garland, you could continue just as you had done with the rest, and then you could choose to put your garland either through, oh sorry, you could continue as you would with the rest, so you have a standard star shape, and then put your garland either through there or through that chain 1 space, and again I'll show you how you would achieve that. Okay,